Welcome everyone to the Women in Leadership Spotlight series, where I interview key female leaders in the organization and outside the organization on their topic of expertise. Today I have Theresa LaRock, a mortgage originator in our residential lending team at Union Savings Bank, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the first-time homebuyer experience, right?
We are, yes. Thank you for having me, Hannah.
Thank you for coming. I'm excited to get started, and I think the only way to get started is kind of determining who is the first-time homebuyer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great question. A first-time homebuyer is a person that has not owned a home within the past 3 years.
Oh, okay. So if you owned a home previously, then rented, say, for 3 years or had a lapse in ownership, and then you can be considered a first-time homebuyer again?
You're absolutely correct. Yeah,
Oh.
absolutely. Yep, somebody could have owned a home for many, many years. Let's say even they owned it for 20 years, and then all of a sudden they sold their home. They've rented for 3 years and decided they want to get back into the market, and they can purchase as a first-time homebuyer.
Yeah, I can imagine that probably happened a lot in 2020 when real estate was so high. People were eager to sell, said, I'm not going to get into this environment at the moment, rented for a little while, and now maybe are trying to buy again.
Yeah, you're absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's actually quite interesting speaking to many people that don't necessarily think of themselves as first-time homebuyers,
Right.
But then when you explain, they're like, oh, wow, yeah, I am a first-time homebuyer.
In addition to the 20% down payment assistance, is there any other programs or what exactly is the first-time homebuyer experience?
So that's an interesting question. The first-time homebuyer experience, we obviously want to make a great experience for people, especially if this is truly their first time in buying a home. And you had mentioned the 20%, and there are programs out there that have down payment assistance for borrowers if they choose to take advantage of it. And some of those programs do give 20% down payment to help them avoid that mortgage insurance. And there are also programs that help from an assistance with closing costs, which is also beneficial to first-time homebuyers.
What are some of the programs that Union Savings Bank offers?
Specifically, Union Savings Bank has 2 different first-time homebuyer programs. Our first-time homebuyer program allows borrowers to put 10.1% down. If they put that 10.1% down, they will avoid mortgage insurance on their payments. So each month, their payment would consist of principal and interest.
That can
and
be
their taxes,
huge.
Of course.
Right.
Yes, it's a great advantage.
Is there another program?
Yes, I'm sorry. The second program, first-time homebuyer, is a 5% down payment.
But doesn't avoid the mortgage insurance.
That is correct. They would still have that mortgage insurance added to their payment each month.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for highlighting those. How does someone choose what program is the best for them, or what type of mortgage is best suited for them?
Yeah, that's a good question. And truly, it's an individual decision. And it really is based upon what their preferences are. You know, many people will have different thought processes as far as what is most important to them as far as a product is concerned. Are they going to choose a product that is going to give them the lowest payment each month? Are they going to choose a product because it has the lowest interest rate available? Truly depends upon what they're looking for at the end of the day to be able to choose that. The thing that I do as a loan officer is sit down with people and be able to.
So they would discuss those options with you.
You got it.
They don't have to present that to you. You would determine what best suits their needs.
Yeah, I mean that's an important part of this process, right? We want to be able to sit down with our buyers or people that are refinancing, whatever the case may be, and have those conversations to figure out what is most important to them. And then, of course, we want to figure out really out of the many products to choose from, where is it that what products they're going to be eligible for so that they can make an educated decision at the end of the day.
Right. So would you say the mortgage originator or the lending team at anywhere is the first step in buying a home, or before a realtor even? Or
I'm glad you asked that question, because I do think this is really important for people that are working towards home ownership. I do believe that the first person they should be speaking to is someone like myself, a loan officer. I believe that is the case because we want to make sure that these people are going out into the world looking for a house mortgage ready. that they have spoken with somebody that has gone over their finances, they have pulled their credit, and they have gone over product availability to figure out, again, where they're gonna fall. The last thing we would want is for somebody to go out, home shop, find that house of their dreams, come back to me and say, I just found a house I wanna buy for $400,000. And if I have not had that conversation with you, after looking at your information, if I have to tell you, you won't qualify, I don't wanna do that, right?
Right.
So having those conversations beforehand avoids those situations.
And getting that pre-qualification letter before you find the house of your dreams.
Correct, yeah, because what we're going to do in our conversations is we're going to ask a bunch of questions. We may even collect a little documentation just to be able to figure out our calculations and pull credit, as I had mentioned before. Again, we want to look at the whole picture, and we want to make sure that we are guiding people in the best way. They want to be able to have that pre-qualification letter in their hand before they start going out with the real estate agent. So in the very beginning, I do believe that I should be, or a lending person should be, the first person of contact when they're getting into this situation.
And how often if someone engages in a relationship with you or your team, how often are they communicating with you, or is there a team that they speak to, or is it you individually? Can you explain how that process kind of works?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically in the beginning, I'm going to be the point person. I'm going to be the first person of contact, right? And as that person is going through the process of actually looking for a home and then securing a contract to be able to purchase a home, I would be the main contact for them. Along with, of course, the other people that are involved in their transactions, right, outside of the lending team. Once they have found that house and they have a signed contract, now we're going to move to application. And once that happens, now we're going to get the rest of our team involved. And that's going to be our processing team, our underwriting team, and our closing team. The nice thing about Union Savings Bank is all of these people are in-house.
Oh, wow.
So it's fantastic because I have the ability to stay in contact with them all the time. And every day I can have a conversation to make sure that the transaction's running smoothly. If anything comes up that we need to address, we can do it very quickly. And there's not many lenders that have that in-house capabilities. A lot of things are kind of farmed out.
Right, for sure.
Right, so this makes the transactions efficient and it makes it run smoothly. So they would be working with me primarily throughout it. And, I stay in contact with people constantly because, of course, I want to make sure that they are aware of everything that's going on. And if we do need to address something, we are doing it quickly.
What would you say the time frame is from application to closing?
I tell people it's going to vary, of course, right? Depending upon the transaction. Every transaction is going to be slightly different. But if I had to give you a range, I would say between 30 and 45 days would be the average.
That's incredible. I think that's extremely quick.
I do too.
I would say. What is the process and how do we lend to Union Savings Bank? Do they lend to the U.S.? Is it a certain territory, or where do we focus?
Yeah, that's a good question because there are lenders out there that lend all over the world, right? Or all over the states. Union Savings Bank is a local community bank, and we will lend throughout the state of Connecticut. So any town within the state of Connecticut. We will also lend in parts of New York, which is nice. We will lend in Putnam County, Westchester, and Dutchess County.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah. So focused really on this area. So you would say you'd have an expertise in this area.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Local lending. That's the way to go.
There we go. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming and sharing some of that insight. If you'd like some more information, please feel free to reach out to Theresa directly. Her contact information is listed down below, or you can reach out to me and I can put you in contact with someone else in the residential team or help you out with any of your residential lending needs. Thank you so much for joining. Take care.
Thank you.